Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing tonight? Now, it's not normal for me to be sat here at 20 to 11 at night in my pyjamas making YouTube videos. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, what little faith I had left in this country's ability to run an effective transport system has been ripped from me and burnt to ashes and scattered upon the hills after the dumbest cock-up from KiwiRail that I think I have ever seen. Honestly. And to be honest with you, I'm probably doing this video, if anything, just to vent my frustration. So, this has come out just this evening, okay, that they are going to be putting speed restrictions on all the train lines in Wellington. Why is that? Well, the reason is very, very simple. So, basically, they have these special. KiwiRail has this specialist rail car that is a specialist car for doing track evaluations to assess that it is safe to run trains on the line, and they run it across the Wellington network about 3 times a year, and that enables the trains to run the way that they do. And this car has broken down, and they are due, and the train lines are due an assessment. This means that they can't run the trains at full speed because it's effectively like the warrant of fitness expiring on your car. They cannot run the trains at their normal speed. They're going to have a 70km/h speed limit across the whole network from Monday. We found out about this afternoon. On Friday, we've got the weekend, and then Monday, everything goes to shit. Now, here's the thing. You're KiwiRail. You are responsible for all the railway tracks in the country. Even if you're not physically operating the commuter rail networks, all the tracks are your responsibility. You are in charge of making sure that our railway tracks are safe and that they're checked and that they are able to be used. And you have you have this role that is so vital to keeping the country moving. And you have this specialist piece of equipment that is so crucial to providing that role, and you only buy one. Who, in the name of all that's holy, made that decision? Like, seriously, did they not even stop to consider the possibility that it might break at some point? They have absolutely no contingency plan for what they're going to do. And as a result of this, the entire Wellington rail network is now fucked. What an absolute shambles. And the regional council, Wellington Regional Council, who are in charge of the public transport network in Wellington, have absolutely blasted KiwiRail for a monumental and unacceptable failure here. The chairman of the regional council, Darren Ponta, who is a great guy, said that KiwiRail's safety equipment failure shows an abysmal lack of accountability and management. To be clear, this is a monumental failure by KiwiRail. The poor maintenance of this essential piece of equipment is holding the entire North Island's railway network hostage. If there was ever a perfect example of a lack of prudent management and accountability for critical rail infrastructure in this country, here is Exhibit A. Well done. Hit the nail right on the head with that one. Absolutely. But you know what else pisses me off? Is have a look at the timetable that they are proposing, right? Now, this. Now, according to Metlink, they reckon, okay, first of all, so they are going to run everything to a Saturday timetable, so they reckon that it's going to be okay on a weekday to only have a train once an hour for the first couple of hours of the morning. Okay, it's not. And secondly, they seem to think that a train that departs from Parramatta Station at 6:35 a.m. going all stops on a line with a speed restriction is going to get to Wellington at 7 o'clock. I don't think so. I currently get an express train that doesn't stop after Porirua that gets to Wellington at 7 o'clock. Look, if it takes that long for an express train to do it, how the fuck do they expect an all stops train with a speed restriction that is going to be absolutely packed because there'll be less trains on the line to possibly do that journey in the same time? This timetable isn't just ridiculous, it's impossible to keep to. That won't work. I guarantee you it will not work. That is impossible. You cannot, unless they're going to suddenly start running trains that have the power of teleportation, there is no way that a train is going to be able to do extra stop, to have the extra stops and still complete the run in the same time with a speed restriction. Who came up with this? I mean, have they just put the Saturday timetables up on here and been done with it? Surely they can come up with something better than this. And this is going to affect thousands of commuters. Like me, for example. I need to be at work on time to do my job. I work in the hospital. I work a job that is essential for people's recovery. This is ridiculous. And obviously, we have to point the finger at KiwiRail for fucking up and not having any contingency plans in place for if their equipment stopped working. But I mean, come on, Metlink. Surely you can come up with a better contingency timetable than that. Surely to goodness you could put. I mean, if you're able to run half-hourly trains from 7 o'clock onwards, then surely you can run the half-hourly trains from 5 o'clock onwards. If that means that I have to get up 15 minutes earlier to be at the train station a little bit earlier, so to get a train at 6 o'clock, I'll do that. I don't really want to have to do that, but if needs must, needs must. It's I can guarantee you there is no way that train will get to Wellington at 7 o'clock, and I would be willing to put money on it. I absolutely would be willing to put money on it. And the real sad thing is that they have absolutely no idea how long this is going to last for. Okay? They're saying it's expected to be in place for at least the next week, but who knows? It could end up being longer than that. It's going to depend on how long it takes them to fix this track evaluation car. Yeah, it's just a farce. And the real sad thing is that this is not the only fuck up to happen today. After coming out of the train station, after coming out of Sky Stadium after a rugby match tonight, only to find that the gates that lead down to the platforms from Sky Stadium locked and no staff. We all had to walk the long way around and come into the station for the front, which takes a good 5 or 10 minutes. There was one little gate open for thousands of people to have to try and fit through to get on the trains. And here's the thing. They still sent the trains off at the same time. They didn't bother to make any adjustments for the fact that the passengers couldn't get to the bloody trains. They had to go the long way around, and they didn't even bother to maybe hold the train so people could get on. So all the trains were leaving the station with only a third full because people couldn't get to the trains in time. According to the staff member at the station, somebody fucked up and didn't bother to roster any staff on for the rugby tonight. How can you not know that there's a rugby match on? It's the most popular sport in this country. It is an important event for the city when there's a rugby match on. How do you not know that there's a rugby match on? How does that even happen? I mean, I'm honestly so pissed off about this. It's just an absolute farce. And I actually think that the people in charge at KiwiRail need to be held accountable for this. It's already all over the news, and yeah, this just shows an absolute, complete, and utter failure on the part of KiwiRail. They have absolutely wrecked the Wellington rail network overnight. Well, in fact, not even overnight, in an afternoon. Absolutely disgraceful. It's like I say, this track assessing machine is so crucial as a piece of technology to keep the railway lines open. Like, why would you not have a spare one? Like, that would just seem, to me, that just seems the most obvious thing. If you have a piece of equipment that's that important, obviously you're going to have a spare one. Like, why would you only have one? That's ridiculous. I mean, did I mean were they seriously under the impression that it would be, oh, it'll be all right, and we'll just look after it, it won't break down? Well, things do break down. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. And do you know the real sad thing is, right? This is the sad thing. With public transport, right, is that we all still have to pay for this. You know, when you go into another shop, another business, you pay for another service, and you don't get the service that you expect, right? Then generally you'll get a refund, or you'll get money off, or you'll get a freebie from the company. When public transport fucks up, all you get is we're really very sorry for disrupting you, or we're really sorry it won't happen again, until about a month later when something does happen again. And it's like nothing. It's like, what have we had? Okay, we had a speed restriction on the Capity line for most of last year. Well, for most of last year after a landslip in Puckaroo Bay, which was causing delays. Then they moved all the bus stops for 8 months whilst they rebuilt the bus interchange, which meant it was further to go and get the bus. We had disruptions to the buses in February last year with the Parliament protest. I wasn't able to use my regular bus coming home because they were digging up Wakefield Street for a month. And now this. It's like, can we not just have a fully functioning public transport network for 5 minutes? Not to mention the fact that the bus driver shortage in this country has led them to be cancelling buses left, right, and centre for the last 18 months. My local bus route round here, I can't rely on it. This is why I drive to and from the train station when I go to the work. You can't rely on the local buses round here. 1 in 4 buses on my local bus route are cancelled on average. Sometimes you look on the timetable, there's like 3 or 4 buses cancelled in a row. It's like, and they wonder why they can't encourage the public to use public transport. I mean, honestly, I'm a bus enthusiast and a transport advocate, but the standard of public transport in Wellington for the last couple of years has been so apocalyptically abysmal that I can fully understand and appreciate why so many people are put off using it. Something has got to be done, and the people at KiwiRail that are responsible for this fuck up need to be held accountable, because this is completely unacceptable.